The oh,
the 2nd of July, Rabbi First Mishna Berura. Yes, Roy.
Yeah. Eliezer Tzvi, would you like to read?
where are we?
Mechaber Kufnun Gimel Sif Chav Aleph.
Kufnun Gimel Sif Chaf Aleph. Okay. Okay. Ein liknos mi'irim she nishtamish bahem chedyo lahastamish kedusha. We do not buy nearly as a cloak, the covers or garment or
Like the mantles
mantles, thing like that, that had been used for mundane purposes to use for holy purposes. So we don't take used articles and use them for holy purposes.
Right. Okay. Now, bearing that in mind, you have the document I sent out this morning.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's go straight to the document. That 1 second. Okay. Right. Start right at the beginning. We'll go through this. This is going to be an example of how this halacha actually turned out the Lamaisa. Yeah, it's applied.
Okay. Chashuke Hamar Chemed Shabbos. Oh, okay, just a quote.
This is Rabbi Silverstein. This Rabbi Silverstein is safer.
Okay. Okay. She'ela. Yeshiva b'Shabbos b'Mincha, and Shabbos at Mincha time. Kishaposcha Baal Hakori es Sefer Torah. When the Baal Kori opened up the Sefer Torah for reading, Nikra Hagura B'Tzur Shalo Niten L'Takna B'Shabbos. This is the gartel on it. He tore.
Right. The gartel, apparently, the gartel that holds the Sefer Torah together, apparently that broke.
And in a way that you couldn't fix it on Shabbos.
Right.
Okay. Ki Yisim Hakriya Hisnadev Echad Hatamidim. One of the Talmidim vowed, Poshet Esha Aniva Shalo, like he wanted to take the scarf that was around his neck.
His
necktie. His necktie. Oh, okay. He offered up his necktie to tie up the Sefer Torah. Was it mutter to use that necktie until after Shabbos? Sefer Torah Isur Lahazor Listamish Ben Bar Lachulin. And would it get a level of kedusha that he couldn't use it again after Shabbos?
Right. Now after Shabbos, so obviously after Shabbos they fixed the gartel, they bought a new gartel for the Sefer Torah. So now when the question is, after Shabbos, can he take his necktie back, right, and now use it for his regular uses? Because now it's been upgraded, so to speak, in kedusha to serve the Sefer Torah.
Okay. Tshuva, answer. Mistaber Talmud lo niskaven l'hakdisha l'sefer Torah l'tzmitut. Ki'im l'sha'ah. It's the intention of the student was not to makdish his tie permanently, just as an emergency solution.
Right. That's logically that seems to be what the case would be.
Ulekein mutter lashuv b'shtamesh ba lahedjed, and therefore it would be usable for a hedjed afterwards. There's no permanent kedusha on it. Ve'ein kan horida mikedusha me'acha u'me'olam lo niskadsha v'ayin b'shaylos and shuvas shekosav v'zal. V'zel lashon. This is lashon. Kol ma she'osim l'sefer Torah moel bo tanai v'histamish bo shar tashmish. So anything where so let's go back. Okay, this is not and letting the student use it again is not a lowering of the kedusha because it was not mekadosh permanently in the first place. And there's this Shalos and truth that anything that was used for Sefer Torah to bind it up on a Tanai to use it afterwards as hedjit. Beam Kain Masha Chashiv Libo Inov Bo Sefer Torah also. But every thought in his heart at the time he was giving, in his humility, and the time he was giving up his tie, is no worse than making up a Tanai at the time he gave it. Because Shekain, the Pimasha Kosov her Ramah, the Ramah writes the Noagu Lahanos Medivre Kedusha to get benefit from holy objects, Mishum Delav based in Matnas Alem, because that would be when the based in didn't approve of what you were doing.
Yeah, the late based in, right? The late based in Masna, meaning we work under the assumption that the based in, whoever the based in happens to be, but those powers in charge, they more or less set the standard for what's going to be and how things are going to be used. So this was included in that as well. It's only was given for that short amount of time, not constantly.
Okay, I have Berura. Okay, Shekasa the Bishop writes, Mikol Makom Lishtamish Meguna Lo Mahani Tana. That to do for something that's not appropriate, that's disgraceful, the Tanai doesn't help.
Right.
Meaning to take something that has that, I guess using it as a necktie would be allowed, but to use it to tie up the garbage would not be allowed after it had been used. Something like that.
Right. Apparently, correct.
Okay. V'yitaken shagam be'inyanenu kach, and I guess that's the way we rule.
Right. We're talking. It's possible, Shagam, that also in our discussion here also would be the same. Now, in paragraph 4, this is where it's going to come to bear on the halakha that we've been learning. Go ahead.
Okay. We can also rule this on another, on the opposite side or different side. If it is possible to use the aniva is modesty, right?
Well, now that's with with a vav instead of the base. Aniva is a necktie. Aniva is the base.
It's a question. In the first place, is it mutter to use the necktie for the Sefer Torah?
Right, because that's the question. Because based on he's going to quote our Gemara. It's not our Gemara, our Mechaber. He's going to quote our Shulchan Aruch now. That our Shulchan Aruch said that you can't use something which is a mundane object to serve a Sefer Torah.
Okay. Shari Kosav has Shalos and Shuvas, and this is Lashon.
That's
Uh,
Shulchan Aruch.
oh, Shulchan Aruch, right? Okay. So this is the language. Ein liknos me'ilim shen ishtamish behem lehedyot ishtamish kedusha. You don't take something that was bought for a mundane purpose and use it for a holy purpose. Mikoro mitshuvas mahariel b'shem ha'aguda v'yelech lo memenachos. And the basis for this is the tshuva of the Maharil in the name of the Aguda that comes out of the Gemara Menachos, Al Ha'etzim Asher Al Rosh Al Ha'esh Asher Al HaMizbeach, about the wood that's on the fire that's on the Mizbeach. Rabbi Eliezer ben Shmuel says, Ma Mizbeach Shelo Nishtamish Bo Hedyot. Just like the Mizbeach is something that a Hedyot is not allowed to use, also, the wood that's on the fire can't be used by a hedge. Beam Kane, and if so, Aniva Shenistamish Bahedyet, a necktie that a commoner had used, also Asosos Chagura the Sefer Torah. It's also to use it to tie up the Sefer Torah. They can't cause of a Ramah. The Ramah also writes this. Kufmem Zion Sif Aleph. Ach nira de beofen arai mutter. But we would say for a temporary purpose it would be mutter. Kishi efsha lahagor esa Sefer Torah b'devar chodesh. Because it's not possible to tie up the Sefer Torah with something that is holy. Relation sorach lezeh od kamet stadim. So he's saying that, is he saying that because it's only for a temporary usage that we can allow it because there's nothing else to tie the Sefer Torah with?
Right. He's making a kiddush now that it would only be usher if it's going to plan to be used permanently on a regular basis. But in a situation where it's only going to be used one time in an emergency, apparently that would not be forbidden as a kiddush.
Okay. Excuse me. Hamor v'Ketsia. I assume this is another say. I don't know who it is.
Hamor K'tsia is a sefer. It was written probably about maybe 300 years ago or so on halacha on the Torah, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, Kosav. Masha Kosav Ramah behagah she'ein lasos. Mapos Sefer Torah mibegadim yeshenim, that we shouldn't make mapos for the Sefer Torah from old garments. Halacha mekufeches he. This is a clear halacha. Shenira de ishtamitza mishana me Mefureshes Kalim. It's something that is explicit in Maseches Kalim. The Tani Hasa we learn there, Kipa, Jehu Tame Medras, Vinis Nasula Sefer, some sort of a hat that was Tami Medras that was used, as some sort of a garment that was used as a seat.
Right.
And they wanted to put it on a Sefer Torah, Tahar Mina Medras. It purifies it from the Tumas Medras that it had. Mizave?
It's brought in Sanhedrin.
Okay, so Mavua in Sanhedrin, it's brought in Sanhedrin. Hare de mutter lates saif l'Sefer Torah. It's mutter to take. What's it, Saif?
Sif is like a
Sif.
Like a silk garment.
And use it for the Sefer Torah. Ela de habach kasav lehochiach Mishna zu, the opposite of this Mishnah. The af she'ein lasos mibidei hedyet mipei Mapel Sefer Torah that you can't use clothing of a hedjit for as a cover for the Sefer Torah. Im Avar the Im Avar Hakadusha Kodesh. He kadsho Kodesh. But if you do it, then the garment maintains its kedusha.
Right. So you see, you're not really supposed to do it, but apparently, b'diavad, if it was done, so the garment it becomes now elevated in its ability to be used for other things.
Okay, Ubesefer Tov Ayin Gam Dechar Raya Zu, and the Tov Ayin has the same proof. The Shani Bisman HaMishna Shari Noagim Taharos. It was different at the time of the Mishnah because people were Noeg in Tum and Tahara. V'yadanu Shakipa Zu Tahara. They knew Kippur would be Tahar. Aval Bisman Hazeh Shekol Bidei Ha'isha Loshin Gam Kish Inyana She'enenu Tahara, that all the garments of that the women wear are not Tahar. Enu Nachon Lasos Tashvis the Sefer Torah Vivigda Isha. It's not proper to use a woman's garment as a cover on the Sefer Torah because they're all Tumas Nida.
Right.
But that would only be women's garments that would have this problem. Or do we say that men's garments are all Tumas Mace anyhow, so it wouldn't matter?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, continue.
We don't. I don't know enough about this yet to start trying to figure it out. Okay, now it says Mata Yehuda. There's another sefer. There's a Mata Yehuda.
Right, Mata Yehuda, cause I'm not to derive. Ba my sefer echad she also sefer Torah chadash. There was an event came where somebody was writing a new sefer Torah. V'haylo beged shel yom tov she nasa leben shehaylo. There was a garment for Yontif that was made for his son.
Right.
Mace and the son died.
Right.
The lavshu rak gimel al dalid pamin only been used 3 or 4 times. The dain habeget bechadusho, and the beged still looked new. V'horo leheter la'asos mapa sefer Torah, and they paskin that would be mutter to use that as a cover for the sefer Torah.
Wow. Okay.
V'lo mevay l'magan Avram shmekel b'shinu tzura.
You don't have to say this. I mean, it's not a Kiddush at all, according to the Magen Avraham. It says it can be makel if you change it. I mean, if you don't, it's no longer a suit. You just take the material.
Right. You can make something else that when you change the form,
right.
That's how.
Shinui Maisa.
Right. El afla cholkin mutter. Even those who argue with this is going to be mutter. The Melashon Haramah should cause, according to the Lashon of the Ramah, who says, "Ve'ein lasos mapos the Sefer Torah mi devarim yeshenim." You should make a mantle for Sefer Torah from old garments. Shenasu bahem davar echad litzorech hedjit, that have been used for the purpose of a hedjit. Mashma tistashmish lechud eno oser. Achiyu nikar bahem shehem yishanim. That using the garments of a hedjit would only be usher if it was recognized that they were old. They were worn and frayed, so you knew it was an old garment. But in this case, where the garment still looked new, there wouldn't be a problem with that. L'chein imlo nikar sheha aniva yashana. If it didn't look like the tie was old, the nira chadash, and it looked new, mutter lefi shitazu would be mutter because of this shita to use it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right, because so if it was a Shabbos tie, so probably imagine, I mean, it could most reasonably look new, look nice. So then in this situation, at least it could be used in that way. Let's see, just the end of paragraph, the last paragraph 5. Then we'll probably come
Berura,
to
and it seems Dim Hoya Sham Echad Hamispal Im Ozor.
that's a
There's somebody
gargle,
who had a gartel or on him.
right?
The Adav Shitul Oto La'anov Ba. It would be better to use that gartel to tie it up as a Sefer Torah. The lo nachshiv ke nishtamish ben l'tzorach heduk, because it's not really used for the needs of a head yet. I guess the gartel just acts as a separator. It's really there's not a hanah from it or anything.
Yeah, and also it's used something that people only wear it during prayer. It's like a prayer garment, right?
Right. Uka'ayin masha kosav shar hatzion l'inyan kuf
The kittel.
kito. Oh,
That's right. The Mishna Berura there, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, the Sharatzins mentioned it's not proper to wear a kittel at the base of kisei because it's a beged which is miyuchad for tefillah.
gotcha. Okay.
So therefore, you see, even though it's not really in kadosh, but it's something which is designated and used in general with something which is of a higher purpose, a spiritual purpose. So therefore, it has a elevated status, not exactly of kedusha, but it's not considered to be extremely mundane. And therefore, the kittel you're not supposed to really wear. There's no gear to Rosh Yom Kippur, or Leil Pesach. When you're wearing your kittel, you have to go to the. If you notice on Yom Kippur, people take their kittels off before they go to the Pesach Kisei.
Mhm.
So the gartel is somewhat like that also. Gartel is something they only wear during the davening. So it would be better to use a gartel, right, than to use a necktie.
Yeah, garter wouldn't have a problem. Wouldn't have any problems at all then.
Right. Yeah, that would work out. That would work out nicely. Okay, very good. That brings us to the end of our time. Very good. Thank you very much, Elise. It's really
All right.
good.
Have a good day,
Okay,
everybody.
See you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Hope to all see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Lou.